lead singer of the band Ghosts Among the Pines from Dothan, Alabama. After failing to find a podcast that would interview me about my band, I said, fuck it. So, welcome to today's episode of I'll Do It My Damn Self, where I interview local musicians about their musical journey, musical influences, and the state of the music scene in the Wiregrass area. So welcome to another installment of I'll Do It My Damn Self.
Good name.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it again. Take that again.
Take it again.
Yeah. Welcome to another installment of I'll Do It My Damn Self, where I interview local musicians about their musical journey and what inspires them to create and to play. And today I'm joined with Mr. Will Brewer.
Hi.
So we'll just go ahead and jump right on into it.
Jump on it.
So I will say that I consider you as kind of a barometer of taste for myself because I've had the pleasure to play with you in a band now available in stereo. And through that, I recognize that you have a very broad and eclectic musical taste. And you had musical interests for artists that I did not. And by learning to play some of these songs, I realized that, I actually like some of this. And so whenever I found that you were talking about or recommending somebody that I had not heard of, I made it a point to go and listen to them because I said, well, if Will likes it, then it's got to be cool. So
thanks, man.
Kind of tell me, what was your journey of going from like the mainstream pop culture to finding and discovering all of these different artists?
Came through a lot of different mistakes mostly, and really, really bad, what's the word I'm looking for? Being brought up wrong a lot of the times. Because for at least the first 12, 13 years of my memory, I grew up in Podunk, Louisiana town, racist as hell. And it took me a long time to start being around other people and unlearning a lot of the shit I had been taught. And through that unlearning, most of that was done through music. People were introducing me to artists that I had never seen before because I was so sheltered in this little, David Allen Coe life that I lived growing up, and all the shit he was singing about. So I just thought it was normal, the N-word, which is everywhere. And I accidentally said that in front of some black friends of mine in college once, and that was the beginning of that journey. That ass whooping carried me a lot of knowledge.
I'd imagine.
And through that, I just started learning about more and more people and learning more and more about music. And through the music, finding out that it's just different flavors of human.
Right.
Everybody's not really any different. We just do things a little bit different style. And so I just started to accumulate more and more different types of artists and just grew from there.
That's an awesome story.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I found myself as a white male growing up in the South, people automatically assuming that I'm in their club. And just dropping some of the most heinous racist stuff I've ever heard as growing up. And I became somewhat radicalized whenever I was in my early adolescence and became very anti-racist during that period of time. And made it a point to, whenever someone just assumed that I was in the club and they could talk that way, to let them know that no, I'm not in the club, right?
Yeah. As soon as I got out of the club, I was very against the club. And I'll make sure everybody fucking knew that.
So do you...
Am I allowed to cuss on this?
Yes, please.
Is this broadcast TV?
Yeah. Fuck.
Fuck.
As growing up in the South, when you started writing and creating, did that have any kind of influence on you?
Not at first. At first, it was just figuring out if I could, and just the first thing that came into mind, which is a lot of really bad writing, honestly. And so we don't talk about those. Over time, I don't know that that's made it into my music so much. Most of the music I write is escapism. Because in addition to being everything else I had going on, there's always depression and anxiety to deal with that. And I didn't want to be me. So in my songs, I pretended to be somebody else that was much cooler and more capable than I actually am. So the music came from just pretending I'm somebody else.
Nice. Yeah, I've explored that type of writing before, where it's especially if I'm going through a period of writer's block, saying, well, what if I were this person in this situation?
Yeah.
How would I react? What song would I write? And I'll find sometimes that kind of helps open up the weir gate, and all the creative juices flow from there. Because I very much write a lot of very interpersonal things. Mm-hmm. I go and I look at the ugly stuff with inside of myself, and I use that as a way to cope. But the people that write stories and assume those different roles, really respect that. I feel like there's a long tradition of songwriters out there telling stories that are not necessarily about them. I mean, Johnny Cash was not actually named Sue.
That's true. Yeah, little known fact.
Yeah.
Not everybody realizes that.
Right. Yeah. What was the song that made you say, "Oh, I want to do that"?
Oh shoot. I doubt I can go back to a single song. I have vague memories of singing before I have memories of doing anything else. Grew up in a very religious area, so I was in church. I was in choir by the time I was 3, just because I jumped up there and did it with them, and nobody kicked me off.
Nice.
Sang with every song that came on the radio, and I don't remember one song that made me want to do that. It's just eventually a guitar wound up in my hand. I think that I probably learned how to play Smoke on the Water first, so we'll go with that.
Oh yeah, that's
poorly. I learned how to play it poorly.
I feel like that's fairly common.
It's everybody's first song.
Everybody's first song is Smoke on the Water.
Probably, if there was a song that did it, it was probably Oceans by Pearl Jam.
Nice.
I think that was the intro song on 10, and that's the first song I remember listening to that wasn't just I didn't just sing along to. I felt something.
Yeah.
The first time I heard that song. And that's what probably cemented it. I don't know what the first song that made me start doing it was, but that's the song that cemented it for me, that I wanted to actually make sounds.
And I mean, that's one of the things I love about music is that for me, I want to feel something. I don't just want to like listen to something pretty.
Pretty's nice.
But, pretty and fun and catchy, but I love whenever I'm able to have those, I call them religious experiences, but with music, where you listen to something and you get the chills, you feel something, and you're affected at the end of it. I love that music can do that. What brought you to Dothan?
One good decision at the end of a string of bad decisions.
Okay, that sounds like a story.
Probably not a coherent one. After high school, I went straight to college with no idea what I wanted to do there. And so that lasted all of about 3 months. And boy, did I do that wrong, because I just left. I didn't like drop out of any of my classes or like officially leave the school. I just left. I didn't even pack my dorm room. Like everything I owned stayed in my dorm room. I got in my car and I went to visit a relative in Waco, Texas, meant to be there for the weekend, and learned about methamphetamine.
Fun.
And I was there for about 3 years. It was a fast 3 years.
Well, I mean, most anything you do while on methamphetamines is usually fast, right?
Yeah, so meth led to other stuff, and that led to other stuff, and
Right.
I was completely strung out in a shithole suburb of Waco. And a friend came to visit me for a weekend, and instead of me ruining their life, they grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and they drug me here.
That's awesome.
Where they were currently living, and I've been clean since.
Good.
And yay.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, sometimes you need that person to come rescue you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's hard to see the terrible things that you're doing to yourself.
But some good that came out of the lost years in Waco was when I was doing a lot of deconstructing.
Yeah.
A lot of those old racist thoughts that I was raised with. I let a lot of people of color and a lot of LGBTQ people, and learned that human beings are a lot more fun if you stop being shitty about it.
That's right. Lost Years in Waco feels like...
Oh, that could be an album.
Like that could be
like
an album title, right? Like, I feel like that's a whole album, not just a song. Right?
That's a record.
Yeah. So, yeah, you got to go make that now. You heard it here first. Lost Years in Waco, coming in 2026 from Will Brewer. So you came to Dothan, and you've had several musical projects. One of those I know was Sinner's Gospel. So tell me about Sinner's Gospel.
That was the longest lived music project I had. It started out as an acoustic duo with me and a friend, and then just kind of picked up more and more people, and built, and then all of their influences came in. It started out as we were kind of trying to doing like a lot of the stuff like the Civil Wars we're doing, and then try to start writing on top of that.
Yeah.
And then as we brought in, instead of somebody playing a cajon who didn't actually know how to play the damn cajon in the first place, we got an actual drummer.
Nice.
And then he actually came up listening to heavy metal, and so he brought that influence into it. And then we got a harmonica player who, played a lot of Americana stuff, because harmonica, that's what you do, and brought that influence into it, and just kind of started morphing into this kind of generalized rock and roll funk blues band that was a lot of fun to play for a long time. And we recorded a few albums on Spotify and all streaming services. Shameless plug. And that came to an end a couple of years ago, and I kind of quit playing music altogether for a long time. And then my mother passed away earlier this year. And I started hearing her asking me about music that she had always done my entire life. But after she passed, I started hearing her ask me about it in my head. And I realized I haven't played anything in 2 years, and she's still asking me about it. So I just started posting random videos on TikTok just to make myself practice. And one of them went viral for no reason, and I gained 10,000 followers in like a week.
Yeah.
And now I get to make a little bit of money on TikTok, and that's a lot of fun.
That's super cool. Yeah, I remember when that started happening, and it was the group chat that we were in. It felt like every few minutes there was another text, and it was Will being like, "Holy shit, I got another 500 views, like followers," and then it jumped up
like
to
1,000 a day for like a week.
It was crazy. So now you're at what, 19K?
Yeah, 19,000. It has slowed considerably.
Yeah.
But we're creeping towards 20,000. That might happen at some point.
And so I know you were doing a lot of covers, but you've since kind of broken away from that. Like some you're doing different.
Yeah,
like,
I still put. Well, I don't have enough original material to satisfy TikTok with a video every day. So I'm still just playing a lot of covers for that. But I've been posting more of my original stuff on that page, and it's been getting a little bit of traction. People seem to not hate.
Seems like you're also doing some like stuff where you're like walking and talking to the camera and making puns and.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
I enjoy those.
Yeah, I'm not just a musician, so I don't like none of my social media presence reflects just music. So watch that one too. So I'm doing cooking. I'm doing random stupid ass jokes, and
I love it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Follow them now available in stereo on TikTok and get me to 20,000.
That's another shameless. So
I'm shameless when I'm plugging my TikTok.
That's awesome. So if you had to reach back and say, These are the top 3, top 5 people that most influenced me. Who would those be?
Okay. I can do it in 5, I think.
Nice.
Definitely Eddie Vedder.
Yep.
I modeled my life after him for at least 10 years.
I can see that.
Yeah. Then I try to find more upbeat stuff. I try to do like a lot of stuff, like trying to copy everybody that I could try to copy, like Blackstreet, Arrested Development. Definitely Johnny Cash, obviously, because I'm a white guy from the South, so you have to have Johnny Cash.
Gotta have some Johnny.
Because he is an influence, whether you wanted him to be or not. And luckily, he's rad, so
Yeah.
he was a great influence. I don't think about that a lot. Like,
Yeah.
what I'm influenced
It's a
by.
hard question.
It really is. It's how do you not say, just make a list of the artists you like
Right.
the most?
Yeah, and also
because what doesn't influence a musician?
exactly. But also, I feel like there's a tendency to want to say the cool artists.
I don't even know what the cool answer is, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I figured you would have like dropped like Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
I do love Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. His stuff's way too good. I don't know how to do that. I would love to say Nick Cave is an influence, and he probably is to some extent, but like I don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
I can't do what he does.
So, what are you spinning right now?
There's this guy named Carter Vale.
Okay, no idea.
He's up and coming. He's doing really interesting stuff. He's got somewhere in between rock and roll and pop, and just fantastic wordplay, and sprinkles in a little bit of humor, along with some like really like deep metaphors, and like he's hitting really hard right now.
Sweet.
And there's another artist that I'm really liking. I'm not even sure. She's not. I don't know where she's from. I can't figure her out. She goes by Chinchilla.
Okay, have not heard of her either.
And she's amazing. She's all over the place. She's doing some stuff that's like very hard rock and roll. She's doing some stuff that's very hip hop, like a lot of bubblegum pop, all mixed in together. It's she's fantastic. I'm in love with her right now.
Well, like I said, you're a barometer of taste for me, so I'll have to go check them out. Who is an artist that you listen to that we might find surprising?
I don't necessarily believe in considering anything to be a guilty pleasure. If I like it, I'm not going to feel guilty about that.
That is 100% valid.
So I can't really give you a guilty pleasure. And anybody who knows me for very long knows I'll listen to everything anyway. Yeah. So I don't know if I can surprise people who know me, but just looking at me, you may be surprised that I listen to. I really enjoy African water drumming.
Okay, all right. So yeah, that is surprising to me. I don't know exactly what that is.
Yeah, it's like a. I don't know if it's like the entire continent does it. Probably not. I think it's just more on the coastal areas, because they get out in the water and they splash their hands in and out of the water to a rhythm, and they build on that, and it's fantastic. I've gone on.
I feel like you're making this up.
No, dude, look it up for sure. Like, go on YouTube and look up African water drumming. All right. And I've just gone down just like rabbit holes of it. I've never found like a specific group of people doing it. It's just these tribes, and they wade into the water about waist deep, and they just go to splash in the water rhythmic, and it's mesmerizing.
All right, I'm gonna have to go look that up. You were fucking with me.
I'm dead serious, man. I'll bring it up right now.
Sounds good. Who's an artist that you've never gotten to see live that you would love to go see?
Oh God, most of them. Like that I can't now. Or
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because all right, let's go to that. I wish I had gotten to see Alice in Chains before Lane died.
Yep.
Would have loved to have seen Tupac live. I feel like that again. That kind of feels like you go to just listing things you like,
right?
Which I guess that's the whole point of that one, anyway.
We'll get into wrapping it up then. So, locally, who should we be keeping an eye on?
Ghost Among the Pines.
Well, I was going to say you can't say that, but fair.
I've always admired what Inspector Six is doing.
Yeah, they're cool.
Those guys, they've been around Dothan playing music as long as anybody.
Yeah,
and they are fantastic.
Very good. Will, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Is there anything else that you'd like to shamelessly plug before we call it an evening?
You can catch the East Fork Ramblers, one of my side projects with my best friend, playing some jams every other Saturday at Blue Moon Cafe in downtown Dothan, Alabama, from 11 to 2. We play brunch every other Saturday and every 2 weeks thereafter.
All right, awesome. And that was yet another shameless plug. So I want to say thank you so much for coming,
Thank you
Will,
for having me
and
and had a fun time.
Look forward to doing this again, and we'll keep it going here every few months or so, or whenever I get the motivation to go do it, because at the end of the day, Will, I'm lazy.
Same.
All right. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Listen to Ghost Among the Pines.